Trisha, excellent work. Illustrative technique is absolutely gorgeous. Nice job. That is outstanding. Just outstanding work. These are gorgeous. Wow, beautiful work. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at this here. Illustrative technique, I don't really have anything to say on it because it's just phenomenal. You nailed it, definitely. Let's talk about composition. Let's talk about consistency. Okay, I think based on what I'm seeing here, let's talk about typography first. All right, so we have iconic American entertainers, which remains the same in each of the 4 stamps. That's fantastic. The word forever also remains the same. However, the word forever is really tiny down there, and that needs to be more prominent as that's the denomination for the stamp. So I would say, watch my cursor, something like this for forever. Okay. It also looks like the names. Val Kilmer, that's got a little transparency to it. You can see it. It's a different color than the rest of the names. So we probably want to get some consistency in the size. Ben Affleck looks like that type size associated with him looks like a little bit smaller than Adam West and some of the others. So definitely want to check your type size and try to be as consistent as possible there. And again, that's got a transparency that the rest don't. So we're looking for a high degree of consistency. Love the fact that you have the emblem on the back of each of the Batmans. But again, in terms of consistency, this one has a light gray fill and a very thick dark gray stroke. So, and the rest don't. So again, the rest are just solid color. So again, we're looking at consistency here. So I would recommend that just be the dark or the lighter gray or the darker gray, but not both. Okay. Okay, now let's go to the mechanics of each of the stamps themselves. I think that the series itself is a little bit inconsistent in the presentation. And the word series should indicate to a designer that this has to have a high degree of consistency as each one needs to be part of a series. And a lot of the page mechanics, a lot of the typography, a lot of the compositional choices need to be very similar, if not identical, in each of the 4 pieces. And of course, this points to consistency in the series. Okay, so the reason I say that is because we take a look at Val, right? Take a look at Val Kilmer, and we see that right now he's the way that he's situated in the picture plane. Let's say he's X amount of feet from what would be the camera, right? Then we come down to George, and he's about the same distance. We can see that because their faces and their heads are about the same size, right? And they take up about the same amount of space in the given picture plane, right? Very consistent. The first two stamps are very consistent. And we come down here, and now all of a sudden, Batman's tiny in the composition. He doesn't consume the same amount of space in relationship to the picture plane. So the spatial relations are inconsistent in the last 2 stamps. And then Adam West is really tiny down here. Look at the size of Adam West's head here as compared to George Clooney's head here. It's about maybe less than half the size. So that points to inconsistency in presentation. My recommendation here would be to take Ben Affleck and Adam West and increase their size. So scale them up so that they take about the same relationship of the picture plane as the first 2. And I think that's really going to point to a tight consistency in the series. And to me, I think that's probably the biggest issue that I'm having with the series itself. The next thing I want to mention is I'm not the colors. This is a little bit inconsistent in that he's grayscale, right? But they're all in color. So we've got 3 are in color and 1's in grayscale. The body is anyway. So I'm just wondering how you might determine how to add color to the body here. Maybe using these rich blue elements that we see. What you could even do is it looks like you've got the background based on the color. So these highlights are based on this color. These highlights are based on this color. These highlights are based on gray. If we change that color gray to a different hue, we can start working color into the actual body and the mask, right? And then the same thing here. Well, actually, no, that's full color, so I take that back. No, that's good. So this one's a little inconsistent in terms of the series. The next thing I would recommend is the actual background color. I'm not real sure that there's a high degree of interest based on the portrait and the background. I think the backgrounds are really muted down. So there, and I get the reason why. The reason why is we have bat is associated with night, so you want to use dark colors. But I just want you to kind of experiment a little with background colors to see if you can bring out a little bit more vibrance in association with the actual character themselves. Because right now I think that there's not much contrast between the background and the portraits. So we could increase the visual engagement based on the background color. So I want you to experiment with background colors and see what you can come up with. Again, I think the most important thing is that the way that each character sits within its picture plane. We need some consistency here. Other than that, the work is just gorgeous. So we work these consistencies in and we are just looking really good. I'm super excited for you because I think this is going to be a very effective portfolio piece. All right, Trisha, if you have any questions at all, please let me know and I'll be glad to make any clarifications needed. Thank you very much.